or like neurons. But then there's also objective features of the world that we can test and understand. Okay, like evolution.
Okay.
No. Hold on. Like evolution. There's facts. All right. There's like evolution. Right. Okay. And then there's.
I'm not going to disagree with anything you're about to say. Nothing you're about to say. I don't disagree with anything you're about to say.
We don't disagree about evolution?
No, I don't disagree with anything you're about to say, okay? What I'm saying is that the statement of things experience pain, that is an objective observation, but that's not what we're discussing. We're discussing whether or not that ought to have moral weight. That is the subjective part.
No, it's ethical weight. It's not really moral weight. All right. So
okay, moral or ethical, these are synonyms in this context. But that's the subject.
No, it's just no. So ethical means, like, hold on. So we'll just read it. Ethical means, the branch of knowledge dealing with moral principles, right? So a principle is different than just like, moral.
Okay, but I'm guessing that from those principles stem what is right or wrong, right?
Yeah, but then there's a principle behind what, you feel, right? So if you agree that like pain bad, like me cutting your arms off would be a bad thing, or somebody else cutting your arms off would be a bad thing, then we can agree, because it would cause you pain and anguish, then we can agree that it's a reality, right? It's a part of the world.
Sure, but we haven't made any moral or ethical statements yet.
Well, no, yeah, I did make an ethical statement at the beginning of this. I mean, I said that it's always a serious harm to come into existence, and it's not a serious harm to not come into existence.
Okay, and then I asked you what you meant by harm, and that's where we're at now.
Death, and death obviously entails pain, right? You have to have.
Wait, I thought you said it was suffering of sentient beings. I thought that was our.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, suffering sentient beings as well. It's all a major malfunction. But the hard sufferings are what you're, ultimately make the, are the really bad things. Okay. But like all pain is bad, but then there's a gradient of like, obviously there's much worse harms. I'm sure we could agree, right? Like a pinprick is different than getting all your arms amputated.
Sure.
So yeah, so there's a gradient of that.
Wait, if somebody offered you a pinprick and they were going to give you $1,000, would you accept that if they pinprick you and they give you $1,000?
For a pinprick, $1,000 for a pinprick? It would depend on what the pinprick.
It's not like HIV. It's just literally like a stone.
Like, what are you talking about? Somebody give me $1,000 for a pinprick. Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm just asking if you say yes. Like, why can't we? If most people that are alive right now are reasonably happy being alive, why can't you say that, like, well, it's okay to bring people into existence because most people are reasonably happy with existing?
Okay, so that's a subjective thing, all right? That's saying most people. So in philosophy, there's a actual fallacy for what you just said called appeal to popularity, right? Which basically says that, if you're just appealing to something being popular, you are essentially, you're saying that you're just saying that it's popular, right? That's your only argument.
This issue is directly what we're discussing. It's not a fallacy to appeal to the popularity of it.
It's a fallacy. You're saying that it's good and true and correct. No. It's a major fallacy. You're saying that it's a good and true and correct, or good or true or correct thing, or false to be for just because it's most people are feeling something. That's like, so if we were to go back to 1940s Germany or something, it was most people were Holocausting the Jews. So would you think that most people Holocausting the Jews was a just great thing to be doing?
No.
Okay, well, you would based on your logic.
Okay, I feel like you're getting really, really hung up on like reading like these are the 15 logical fallacies.
Welcome to philosophy. If this is your first time, sorry.
It's not. You're citing a fallacy that's not a fallacy because I said one word that triggered you, and now you think that like.
No, it wasn't one word that triggered me. It was a major, fallacious, stupid, silly argument based on absolutely fucking nothing, except for most people believe in destiny. Most people are believers in what destiny says.
Can you give me like 2 seconds to like lay out what I'm thinking because you've talked like 90% of the time.
No, I haven't. I've responded to everything you're saying very cordially.
Okay, I can barely get a word in edgewise, okay? So it seems like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong at any point. If I say something you don't believe, tell me if I'm wrong, okay?
That's something I don't believe. It has nothing to do with what I believe. You made a fallacious argument already.
Okay, I'm just giving you like a pre-thing so that if I say something, if you feel like I'm unfairly mischaracterizing your argument, okay, please tell me and I will reformulate, okay? It sounds like you're saying that the fact that we die...
it's already over, all right? Broadcast over. I mean, you made a fallacious argument. If you're not going to concede that, it's over already. Yay! It was his destiny to be a moron.